The most dangerous manipulation isn't loud. It's a whisper of victimhood. This is psyche analysis. Today, we deconstruct the hidden architecture of the covert narcissist.
Covert narcissism is a real clinical paradox because on the surface, it doesn't look like narcissism at all. It's so often mistaken for something like simple introversion or even high sensitivity. It's a quiet, vulnerable mask that's just incredibly difficult to see through. And at its very core, this whole facade, it's built on a narrative of being a perpetual victim. But here's the thing. This isn't a genuine state of being. No, it's a calculated strategy, one that's engineered to systematically weaponize the empathy of other people for personal gain. So, to really understand this hidden architecture, we have to look at the one crucial thing that separates the different narcissistic subtypes, and that's the kind of emotional supply they are designed to drain from others. Think about it this way. The overt narcissist demands your admiration. They need to be put on a pedestal. The covert narcissist, though, they operate in stark contrast. They engineer pity, compelling others to serve as this perpetual source of comfort and validation. This single distinction, admiration versus pity, that is the central axis that separates the two entire clinical profiles. So that outward shell of insecurity, that quiet self-deprecation, well, that's not genuine humility. It is a very calculated, passive-aggressive engine that's designed for control. In fact, there's a clinical term for this, strategic vulnerability. It is quite literally the weaponization of supposed fragility. It's a way to control relationships and whole environments through silent manipulation instead of any kind of overt aggression. And while this whole presentation is incredibly subtle, it is far from rare. Actually, research from the Journal of Personality Disorders reveals that this covert pattern shows up in clinical settings with really surprising frequency. The data on this is just stark. This covert or vulnerable presentation accounts for 40% of all diagnosed narcissistic cases. So you see, this isn't some clinical footnote. It is a dominant feature of the entire narcissistic landscape. Now, the harm inflicted by this kind of behavior is so insidious. Dr. Ramani actually offers a really powerful metaphor to describe its unique and cumulative impact. The harm doesn't come from one big, single, identifiable act of aggression. Not at all. It comes from the unending accumulation of subtle psychological wounds, of slights and manipulations, day in and day out. This chronic emotional erosion, well, it has profound consequences that go way beyond just the psychological. The sustained stress of this dynamic frequently leads to severe physical or somatic distress in the people being targeted. This physical manifestation, it happens because of the constant cognitive load, just the sheer exhaustion of having to manage the covert narcissist's perceived slights, their fragile ego, and their unending need for pity. It just goes to show that the body always keeps the score of a battle the mind is forced to fight every single day. So, ultimately, understanding this pattern, it really isn't about assigning blame. It's about recognition. It's about being able to see the sophisticated psychological architecture that operates from behind a mask of manufactured suffering. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Psyche Analysis for more deep dives, and share your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you in the next one.